Shalom, shalom, Israel. This is Judah Nazar with a new video. We're going to be covering what these fake excuse me, what these fake fuckers be calling the lost word. And we're going to show you what the lost word really is, because you know, there's a big debate coming up between the Israelites and the so-called Kemetic Masonic Negro dick worship penis party. And I was on Facebook, you know, and you know, I'm gonna do my usual exposure of what Freemasonry basically is: worship of the dick. You know, Aleister Crowley, who's a master high degree Mason, basically spills the beans and tells you that basically it's just, you know, sex acts, worship, drinking of semen, anal sex, all other kind of bullshit. Then you'll see me on Saad Netter's comment board with these fucking agents that are paid chicken to come, and I'm talking literal chicken, to come on you know, the comment boards and try to, like, you know, upbraid Saad Netter's bullshit and these Kemetic niggas Masonic bullshit like this shit is like something fucking sweet, when this shit is just fucking faggery disguised as consciousness. Anyway, here you see the picture of Black Angel Michael, you know, the defender and Prince of Israel. Anyways, let's get to it right now. I'm going to be using the scriptures to show you about. Now we're going to show you what the white man and his flunkies, these niggas, who are, we have agents in the Israelite community who are Masons, and these niggas know damn well they're on Facebook, they're watching, they're trying to see what's going on so they can go back and report to the white man, and, you know, that's what it is. So, you know, I threw a little bit of meat out there, you know, actually, not meat, I threw a rock out there in the center of a pack of dogs, and you know, the niggas who didn't say nothing were the ones who got hit in the head with it, and they knew better than to yelp, because they would have been, you know, given out. Now the brothers who are not down with that shit, you know, they always comment, you know, they give support on it. They know what the deal is. But you niggas out there who remain quiet when the shit's getting exposed, you niggas ain't gonna make it. I'm gonna show you with scriptures too, to show you can't be coming with this Masonic shit. Whether this goes to GMS or whoever else leaders is into this shit, you niggas are gonna have to answer one day. It's just like it shows you in the scriptures. Elijah the prophet came down, and the prophets of Baal. You niggas are gonna get burnt up. It's just what it is. The question's gonna be posed to you. You know what I'm saying? And you niggas gonna have to make a choice. So before I start, let me give a shout out to the brothers, to the Knights, Torah Israelites, who are making a tremendous impact on the Israelite community. We're taking over these One West Camp Negroes. You know, I got love for some of these brothers in here, but for the most part, you know, it's just like a brother said, man. You guys are getting cut in the comment board. You know, you're just getting chopped up, and you niggas are still keeping to the bullshit. And you niggas are still making videos talking about, oh, well, you know, you niggas don't worship Christ, and, you know, God's going to kill you. The question still comes back. Where is Christ in Exodus 20 and Deuteronomy 5? And right then, that's an immediate head lob. There ain't no dueling with you niggas. It's just straight head lob. And you niggas refuse to answer it. So if you can't answer it, nigga, then you're doing wrong. You're doing wickedness. You might as well be doing whatever you're trying to tell other brothers not to do. You niggas might as well be smoking crack and getting fucking razor lineups and eating pork and shrimp. You might as well be doing that. You're doing the very worst. You're teaching Israel to commit idolatry, which is an abomination. So let me get shout out to the brothers who are you know, the Knights in this truth, Walking Truth, brother Dan, in his new videos. Check his side out, man. He's a scriptural warrior with the scriptures too, man. He's cutting these One West camps and their bullshit. They're not going to answer. They're not going to say nothing. If you're still supporting GMS and all these One West niggas, then nigga, you're not serious about the Most High. You're not striving. You're not laboring to stay in this truth. You know, you wanna worship idols. That's just what it is. And Torah tells you that. It says our people are stiff-necked. They refuse to hear the Torah of the Most High. They refuse to hear it. These niggas want to worship Christ. So shout out to Dan of Walking Truth, brother Only the Truth, Lobster Bale, Quadash, you know, get well soon, brother. Yamel, Yashar, Killer B, Antonio 118, Swoop, Yagad, Liza, Rob Rack, Sakari, Taino WOB, Jawan Brown, Breaking Spells 9, Edgar Mindex. I see this brother on the comment boards cutting up all these brothers. Show them to you, brother. Young Heretic, Benny Little. You know, brother, sometimes you becoming weird, but, you know, shout out to you anyways, brother. Still. Man, there's a whole bunch of other brothers too, man. If I forgot you, man, I'm just going, you know, I got a few written down, man, to, you know, shout out. There's a lot of brothers on Facebook, man, you know, shout out to you. But let's get to the subject at hand, because, you know, this might be a two-part, but, you know, This is what it is. All right, let's get to it. First off, let's get to Esau's bullshit. We're going to be using the Temple Man as always to show you Esau's bullshit and to show you the Torah, tabernacle, temple, Ezekiel 43. So let's get to it. All right. The subject here is the lost word. So according to the teachings of the third Masonic degree, the Master Mason degree, there was a mystical word which was only known to 3 people. These were King Solomon, Hiram, King of Tyre, and a fictional Masonic character called Hiram Abiff. These 3 appointed 15 craftsmen from among those working in rebuilding the temple in Jerusalem presided over the next blah, 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 okay? These guys have a thing, what they call the Masonic lost word. Let's get to that real quick. Hold on. You can, all right. In the midst of discovering the assassins, or the ones who killed Hiram Abiff, keep this in mind, the slaying or the assassination of a Hiram Abiff, we're going to show you who this really is. Now, on their side, it's another word for Christ. Okay, it's just another word for Christ. But we're going to show you who the slain person really is. In the midst of discovering the assassins, the searchers noticed the grave of Hiram Abiff. Here, the Masonic candidate is required to mimic Hiram. The initiate, or the member of Masonry, is thus placed in a mock grave representing a corpse. The members tried to resurrect him with the injured apprentice grip, with no success. Then they tried to raise him to the fellow craft grip, again with no success. Next, all raised their hands and exclaim, "O Lord my God, I fear the Master's word is forever lost." The Master then announces, or worshipful Master, "As the Master's word is now lost, the first word spoken after the body is raised shall be a substitute for the Master's word until future generations shall find out the right word." Okay? It's a bunch of bullshit, okay? So basically what they're saying is sun worship. Hiram Abiff is supposed to be, this Masonic Christ, okay? Keep in mind, Freemasonry is nothing but Jesuitism, Christianity, and so-called Jews all working together. Sun worship, bullshit, okay? So all this is just to keep in mind, if you read in the book in the book of Jonah, Yah will show you in there, if you understand Hebrew, that when he gave, when Israel died, I should say, Valley of Dry Bones, the white man had all this time to study our Torahs and all this and all that, and this is where you get all this Masonry shit from, and Knights Templar and all this bullshit. Okay, they never really understood, but they could understand. So what they did was formulate their own shit. This is why it's called speculative Masonry. What speculative is like guesswork, conjecture. It's just like philosophy. They don't really know. It's just, they know certain signs and symbols, and then they just kind of put it, the white man basically follows us around and mimics whatever we do, copies whatever he does. He's forever watching us to see what the next thing is. Okay? This is just all it is. So if anyone thinks this Masonry shit, and you got niggas in the Israelite community who are Masons, they're just following the goddamn white man who doesn't even fucking know himself. Okay? It's just speculative. They don't fucking know anything. So check it out. The Master's word is now lost. The lost word. Okay, keep that in mind. And Hiram, he's supposed to be this dead guy that was struck, and he was laid in the grave, and they tried to raise him. Okay, keep all this in mind. So like I said, the Israelites' worst or biggest, should I say, setback is his inability to focus. After a few minutes, he loses focus. But those of you who can focus, keep in mind of these words: Hiram Abiff, the grave, and the lost word. Okay, let's get to it. Keep in mind all that. If you have to go back, and we'll get to these niggas later, because these niggas are in on it. If you don't believe it, okay, Natural Tahuti, the all-seeing eye of Horus, which is the booty hole, and the sex, their appropriation of the sex rituals, which they use the shield of David, but they use it for the Masonic G and compass, which is your penis and vagina, whatever, okay? But that's just to show you that these niggas are slaves to the white man. But let's get to it, okay? Let's get back. Keep in mind, you got your 3 degrees. They have 33, but there's only really 3 degrees, and the white man has none of them. Let's click on this real quick. It's 3 degrees for Israel, though. You got the Alam, Egypt. You got the holy place, 2nd degree, and the 3rd degree, which is your priesthood degree, Levite degree, holy city, city of the angels, the Debar. All right, let's keep in word that word Debar again, because this is where you're gonna see who the lost word is. Keep in mind, Hiram Abiff was slain. Okay, let's get to it. Hiram Abiff and Christ, who are one and the same, were slain or killed. okay? And they want to get them raised. Keep in mind again, Isaiah chapter 52 and chapter 53. 52 will set up 53. Behold, my servant will succeed. He will be exalted and become high and exceedingly lofty. Just as the multitudes were astonished over you, saying, indeed, his appearance is much too marred to be a man's, and his visage to be human. So will the many nations exclaim about him, and kings will shut their mouths in amazement because of him. For they will see that which has never been told to them, and they'll perceive things they have never heard, which I told you, this is the nations will see that the nation of Israel is, quote unquote, that slain man. Isaiah 53 is the nation speaking. Who would believe what we have heard? For whom has the arm of Yah been revealed? Formerly he grew up like a sapling or like a root from an arid ground or a dry ground. He had neither form nor grandeur. We saw him, but without such appearance that we should desire him. So they saw Israel as a slave, as a lowly man. He was like a dead man. He was despised and isolated from men, a man of pains and accustomed to illness, as one from whom we hid our faces. He was despised and we had no regard for him. But in truth, it was our ills that he bore and our pains that he carried. But we regarded him diseased, stricken by God and afflicted. Okay, so Israel on the bottom, Israel now occupies this place as a lamb, as a sacrificed sheep or oxen or whatever. And the nations now, you see them all propped up in the time of the Gentiles. They're on top of Israel. So they're looking down on Israel, who's in this earthly grave. Keep in mind, Egypt and all this signifies like the dead man, the spirit trapped in flesh carnalism. Okay, so Israel now occupies this place as like a sacrifice. All the Gentile, since they rule now, Israel's not standing up as a man; he's laying down. The Gentiles ruling now, their sins fall upon Israel now. So the time of the Gentiles, which is right now, they should be slain for all the sins that they commit, but they're not. The judgment hasn't overtaken them yet. Israel's still in the midst of them as a dead man. This is what they're talking about. Let's get it. Where is it? Hold on, give me 1 second. Here we go. Isaiah 53, verse 9. He submitted himself to the grave like wicked men, and the wealthy. He submitted to his executions for committing no crime, and with him no deceit in his mouth. The generation that went into slavery, these weren't the same guys that were committing the sins in the land. But, Yah says he punishes the descendants, third and fourth generation on down. So the generation of the people who had to come into America, into this land of the grave, we are the ones that have to bear the sins or, the reward for our ancestors' sins. Okay? Yah desired to oppress him and afflict him. If his soul would acknowledge guilt, he will see his offspring and live long days, and the desire of Yah will succeed in his hand, which is he going to bring the Torah to the nations. It's going to flip up. Israel's going to stand upright, and the nations are going to fall down. Hold on, let's get to it. Let's get to, so basically showing you Isaiah 53, what it said here. It says he submitted himself to the graves. This is talking about the nation of Israel here. Keep in mind here, the white man and his bullshit tells you that it's Christ and tells you that it's Hiram Abiff. Now I'm going to have another video in the future comparing the prophecies of Israel as the dead man compared to Christ of the white man. But let's get back to this. All right, let me show you guys something. Let's get to I think it's Hosea chapter 6. Hold on, give me 1 second. Keep in mind, it says Hiram. They try to raise Hiram. Let me see how much time I got. 13. They try to raise Hiram from the grave with these passwords and signs and bullshit. Okay. All right, let's get it. To show you that this Hosea chapter 5 and chapter 6 is a precept and a support for the Isaiah 53 that the nation of Israel is the slain man, that he is the Christ and the Hiram Abiff. He's the Messiah. This I've been trying to tell you guys in the other videos, and I'm going to get to it because this is going to be a 2-part video. I'm going to show you with the Hebrew and show you that Israel is the Messiah. So you're going to see where groups like 5% Nation and Nation of Islam and all these more science and all this bullshit, they get their shit from under the white man's speculation, Masonry, and they get a regurgitated or a watered down version of the Torah, and they bring it to you brothers on the street to keep you brain dead with their bullshit. Like when they say peace God, God this, God that. They're correct in that. Psalm 82:6 tells you who the gods are. It's Israel. But it's only when Israel is upright and filled with the knowledge of the Torah. You can't be no dead ass nigga like a 5% nigga talking some nonsense with an English alphabet cipher and some Nation of Islam bullshit. You're a dead man. You're not following the Torah. You're not following the laws. You don't know the secrets of the kingdom of heaven. This is why. I'm digressing and going off of some other shit. Let me just get back to the subject. Hosea chapter 5 verse 15. Let's start there. Yah was like, I will go. I will return to my place until they acknowledge their guilt. You can find this in Isaiah chapter 53, where it was like, if he would acknowledge his guilt, he would see long life, and my desire will succeed in his hand. So this is a support to that. I will go. I will return to my place until they acknowledge their guilt and seek my face. In their distress, they will seek me. 6 verse 1. They will say, come, let us return to Yah, for he has mangled us, and he will heal us. He has smitten us, and he will bandage us. He will heal us after 2 days, and on the third day he will raise us up, and we will live before him. Let us know. Let us strive to know Yah, like the dawn whose emergence is certain. Then he will come to us like the rain, like the late rain that satiates the earth. So let's get back to that 6:1 or 6:2. He will heal us after 2 days. First degree, second degree. Second degree, Israel's revived when he studies the Torah. He's revived in there. On the third day, or third degree, he will stand up. He will be a standing man. Yasha'al. He shall be a prince. He will stand upright. An upright man. Come, let us return to Yah, for he has mangled us, and he will heal us. He has smitten us, and he will bandage us. He will heal us after 2 days, and on the third day he will raise us up, and we will live before him. So compare this to your Jesus Christ story. Oh, he was laid in the grave. We can just showing you that Israel was dead. He has smitten us, and he will bandage us. He will heal us after 2 days. On the third day, he will raise us up, and we will live before him. We can go back to that. Let's keep it there real quick. Let's go back to that Isaiah. So much time we got. We're 17. Let's get back to that Isaiah real quick. 53. This is Israel. He submitted himself to the grave like wicked men, like Esau and the nations, and the wealthy to his executions, for committing no crime and with no deceit in his mouth. Yah desired to oppress him, and he afflicted him. If his soul would acknowledge guilt, he would see his offspring and live long days, and the desire of Yah will succeed in his hand. If his soul would acknowledge guilt, this obviously isn't talking about what the Gentiles and these Masonic Israelites are talking about Jesus, because they said that he was sinless. So why would he have to acknowledge guilt? Acknowledge guilt. That's your Isaiah chapter 53 verse 10. Which the support is Hosea chapter 5 verse 15. I will go, I will return to my place until they acknowledge their guilt and seek my face. This is talking about Israel. Now keep in mind the white man and his lost word. Okay, hear what they said here. They tried to, the third degree. Look, thus all master masons are raised from a figurative death to a reunion with the former companions of their toils. Yet even by this feeble ray you may perceive that you may stand on the very brink of the grave into which you figuratively descend. So you see here the Mason here with his bullshit basically takes the story of Israel, who is in America as a dead man, and the other nations of the Gentiles as dead men who have lost the word. Israel he lost the word. I'm going to show you what the word is and why Israel is a dead man and why he's lost it, and why the white man with his Jesus Christ and his Hiram Abiff and his bullshit misappropriate the story of Israel onto their idol. Let's get to it. Keep in mind Israel is Isaiah chapter 53. Freemasonry and the lost word, Isaiah 53, Psalm 82:6. You are gods. Let's get the word debar. Okay. Let's get the word debar in Israel. Remember, keep in the lost word. The word in Hebrew is debar. Let's get debar in here. Okay? The white man's not wise. He's only wise in doing evil. But once you know what he's doing, he's easy to figure out. And he knows his time. For the simple fact that this shit's even coming out, it shows you that his time is pretty much up. So anyone trying to hold on to this masonry shit is a fucking fag. Dabar. To arrange. To use figuratively. To speak. Which is a word. To speak, rarely in destructive sense. To subdue, to speak, to say, to talk, to promise, to tell, to commune, to pronounce, to utter. To answer, to appoint, to bid, to declare, destroy, give, name, rehearse. Be a spokesman, subdue, teach, think, use. Dabar means to speak, to say. Let's get other words for dabar. Dabar means 1697, Strong's Dictionary. 1696, a word. But a matter. A spoken thing, a cause, a word. A thing, a matter, an act. So the Torah is called a thing. It's like a matter, like the matter of the situation. The Torah and the temple tabernacle, Ezekiel 43, is the thing. It's the matter. When Israel lost knowledge of the Torah, the thing, the word, the Torah, he was as a dead man. This is why he's walking around killing himself. He's a damn buffoon. He can't focus. Let me see how much time we got. We're at 21. I'm going to close this out and open up another real quick. Hold on.